Good morning, everybody. Good to see you. My name is Brian Westbrook. I'm the founder and executive director of Coalition Life, spelled BRIANWESTBROOK. Thanks, everybody, for being here this morning. Tomorrow, on December 4th, 2024, Missouri and their courts will hear a case that seeks to block safety laws currently protecting women in the state. All people in Missouri must strongly speak out against this. In a 221-page lawsuit, Planned Parenthood hopes to start the process of removing any and all common sense safety standards for women related to abortion. In their press release, they are asking the court to remove all restrictions on abortion related to gestational age on a child, including abortions very late in pregnancy. They're asking the court to remove restrictions on racist and sexist abortions. They believe any reason should be permitted, even if they don't want a baby of color or if they don't want a girl. Furthermore, they want to eliminate safety standards from where and how abortions are conducted. They're hoping to strike down safety standards that require abortions to be done at a medical facility by a medical doctor, even going so far as to simply mail dangerous abortion drugs anywhere in Missouri, so that these abortions can be performed at home, sometimes far from a nearby hospital or doctor. And probably most egregious is they are asking the court to remove all, quote, criminal penalties for abortion providers, unquote. Their claim is that anyone providing abortion should receive full immunity. In so doing so, remove all safety standards, including if a woman dies as a result of an abortion. Simply put, the public needs to be aware of prior unsafe practices by Planned Parenthood Great Plains and Planned Parenthood Great Rivers, and the need to maintain common sense safety standards that hold them accountable. We have seen that these Planned Parenthood affiliates have a track record of victimizing women in their facilities. We demand that women's health and safety not be compromised. We have seen how Planned Parenthood has demonstrated an utter disregard for the very lives it claims to value. Since Coalition Life started our work in front of this very abortion facility, there have been 80 ambulance calls to this location. The vast majority of these calls are for serious, life-threatening conditions that occurred just behind us today. 33 calls for dangerous and life-threatening hemorrhaging. 14 calls for fainting and falls, likely after a surgical abortion. 4 calls for serious psychiatric and suicidal reasons. 5 calls for continuous and multiple seizures, one of which the person had completely stopped breathing. 2 calls for serious abdominal pain. 6 calls for serious pregnancy bleeding. And of these, 3 calls for women undergoing late-term abortion. 1 in the 2nd trimester and 2 in the 3rd trimester of pregnancy. For months, we were lied to and told, with $30 million of advertising, that Amendment 3 had to do with miscarriage and abortions in the 1st trimester. that women were bleeding and dying as a result of the laws on the books. They used no evidence to make this claim. Yet we stand here today with real, clear evidence that Planned Parenthood is not safe for women and requires serious oversight and inspections, not immunity. And one final example was that at the Columbia, Missouri facility that was shut down due to unsanitary practices, including the use of a black mold-contaminated equipment that endangers women's health. The state was able to act in Columbia to protect women from dangerous practices because of safety laws currently on the books. Many such documented instances of negligence reveal a troubling pattern of complete disregard for safety, showing that Planned Parenthood places profits and ideology above the people they claim to serve. Coalition Life urges the public to take a firm stand to protect women from these risks. We, as a state, cannot sacrifice the health and safety of women here in Missouri. And we cannot look the other way while Planned Parenthood promises compassion and high-quality so-called health care, only to cause irreparable harm. We fully support the Attorney General, Andrew Bailey, and his efforts to hold Planned Parenthood and their affiliates here in Missouri accountable, as he prioritizes the well-being and safety of women and protecting the lives of those here in Missouri. And we call for all of these safety standards to stay intact, and if they are overturned, we call on the people of the state of Missouri, and we call on our legislature to reenact these safety standards to make sure that women do not go into a place like this and leave in an ambulance headed to the hospital. We here at Coalition Life, we will stand firm every single day to be with these women, to protect these women, and protect the very innocent children who will lose their lives potentially here on Thursday, as they may start abortions at this location, at any of the Planned Parenthood, or frankly any location here in the state of Missouri, and even in your homes through telemedicine abortion. With that, we thank you for being here, and I will take any questions.
Over the course of the Amendment 3 campaign, opponents of Amendment 3 said people shouldn't vote against it because it's going to strike down most abortion restrictions. But in the response to the Planned Parenthood lawsuit, Andrew Bailey, while acknowledging that the abortion ban isn't going to be enforceable after Thursday, is saying Amendment 3 doesn't affect the restrictions that you mentioned. So both can't be true. Was Amendment 3 really this disaster, or was it a paper tight?
Yeah, I can't speak to Andrew Bailey's comments.
But do you think that Amendment 3 is going to strike all these restrictions down based off what you said during the debate?
Yeah, so what we are looking at is the 221-page document and Planned Parenthood's own press release is that they specifically want all these safety standards removed. What the courts decide is up to what the courts decide, but what we're calling is for these safety standards to clearly be put in place and kept in place, but we will only see tomorrow what the courts do.
When you talk about the 80 calls, what's the time frame on that, and where are you getting the...
Yeah, so the time frame was from 2009 until I think it was 2019, and there should be a press document documenting every single one of those different calls. If you don't have the press document, Melissa over here can get you that press document.
Do you think that people voted for Amendment 3 because of the $30 million advertising campaign, or because when they found out that the abortion ban was so restrictive, they just didn't want that as a state?
Yeah, I think the people voted for Amendment 3 because of the $30 million lie and advertising campaign talking about miscarriage and the fact that they believed that women were dying in emergency room parking lots. That simply was not true. There is no evidence that women are dying in parking lots outside of emergency rooms. And so we believe that if the people look at what the amendment actually said on the document, they would be against it. And we believe that another chance, another time around, we will be victorious.
If you do get another chance, because you would have to put something else on the
Yeah.
ballot, do you think that you would want to replace it with something less restrictive than the 0-week abortion ban that's currently in place right now? Maybe like an 8 to 12 week.
I think the people in Jefferson City over the course of the next several months will be debating that for sure. But what we are calling for today is that all of the safety standards 100% stay in place for women.
There was one moment.
No, I know Coalition Life has had a heavy presence over in Illinois in
Yeah.
recent years. Is anything going to change in terms of your presence here in St. Louis, anticipating that abortions may resume?
Yeah, so we do operate sidewalk counseling over in Fairview Heights, Illinois, and we plan to be back here doing sidewalk counseling at this location or wherever is a need, because we want to specifically meet those women who are going in for an abortion and offer them real, tangible resources to help them to choose life. The location behind us does nothing to actually help and support women. They don't pretend to support women through adoption, material resources, or anything else. And so what we do is we will provide those material resources all the way through the 9 months of pregnancy and beyond, along with many of the other organizations through the state of Missouri, including the 75+ pregnancy centers.
Yes.
Other comment? Yes.
Right. So, two-part question. You think the court case from 2018 that shut down the Planned Parenthood and abortions in Missouri would come into play? And what are your action items for Missourians in general?
Could you specifically talk about which court case? Was it regarding the Columbia one?
Full case.
The black mold case? It certainly should. I think the black moldy suction machine in Columbia, Missouri, at that abortion facility, which, by the way, the person who was operating that was Colleen McNicholas. Colleen McNicholas is the head abortionist here at this location. And so what happened in Columbia is exactly the likely standards that you will see here at this location. And so, yes, the evidence that was found with the black moldy suction machine that was actively being used with abortions, that evidence should be viable and it should be relevant in our arguments today.
I mean, what are the action steps that you want just regular Missourians to go forward and do?
Yeah, I think regular Missourians should be doing numerous things. One, obviously pray. We're a prayerful group, so pray for these women who potentially might be hurt, and also the many women who have already been hurt at this location and been sent to the hospital. Many of them who the abortionist was actually a student. One of the things I didn't mention in my formal statements was that many of the hemorrhaging and ambulance rides were as a result of students doing abortions, while Colleen McNicholas was in some other room. She said this publicly, that she wasn't even in the room when they were doing these abortions. These students were. And so I think that's really important for us to realize, is that if they get full immunity, that in fact they could do really anything and get away with it. So first and foremost, pray for the women who are here, who may get abortions and are lied to. Secondarily, we ask that the legislature take immediate action to reverse the effects of Amendment 3, especially if the judge allows for the preliminary injunction tomorrow. And we also asked the people of Missouri specifically look at current federal law. And many people actually don't know that in 1873, we made it illegal to transport abortion-causing drugs through the mail. It is currently still law on the books. It was called the Comstock Act. It is illegal to transport medical drugs to cause abortions through the mail. And so we call upon the state of Missouri to enforce the Comstock Act. And we also call upon many cities and counties also to enforce these Comstock Acts and allow their people to enforce these as well.
Is that a state law or a...
So the Comstock Act was passed in 1873, shortly after the Civil War. It makes it illegal to transport abortion-causing drugs or, quote, abortion-causing paraphernalia. That is currently on the books today. It is federal law. And there's actually a movement right now called Sanctuary Cities for the Unborn. It has been passed in 80 different cities around the United States today. And this is enforced, and it allows for the citizens to enforce through civil action the federal law, the Comstock Act.
Are you confident that, or what is kind of your feeling about what the judge is going to do tomorrow? Are you worried that she's going to strike down all these laws?
I don't know the judge. I don't know their history, and I can't answer that question. All right. With that, thank you everyone for being here. We appreciate your time, and we will see an end to abortion, and we want to see the women here protected every single day so that they don't be transported to the hospital down the street. Thank you.